Welcome back to Deadscape Diaries, where we explore the darkest corners of terror and the chilling unknown. Tonight, I'm bringing you a story that will make you think twice before ever setting foot in an old, abandoned house. What happens when you disturb something that should never have been touched? Tonight's tale is one of restless spirits and dark secrets buried deep beneath the floorboards, in a house that's been waiting for someone like you to find it. So, turn off the lights, sit back, and let's dive into the corpse beneath the floorboards. I remember the first time I saw the house. It was a crisp autumn afternoon, and as I walked down the overgrown path, I could feel the excitement building inside me. The house stood there, almost hidden behind a thick veil of ivy, its Victorian architecture peeking through the trees like a forgotten relic from another time. I'd been looking for a place like this, solitude, peace, away from the noise of the city. When I saw it, I knew it was the one. The realtor had warned me that the house had been abandoned for decades. But the price was far too low to pass up, and when I stepped inside, I couldn't shake the feeling that the house had been waiting for me. The wood creaked beneath my feet as I explored, and the air was thick with dust and mildew. The grand staircase seemed to go on forever, and the ornate woodwork lining the walls whispered of a history I was eager to uncover. It was everything I'd ever dreamed of. At first, I didn't believe in ghost stories or strange happenings. Old houses, I thought, made noises, settling wood, creaking floorboards, the wind whispering through the cracks. But this house felt different. The first few nights were quiet, but then I began to hear things. Soft, almost imperceptible sounds from beneath the floor, like someone walking around below me. At first, I thought it was the house settling, or maybe my mind playing tricks on me. But the noises didn't stop. They became more distinct, scratching sounds, muffled thuds. And then, the whispers. I was lying in bed one night when I first heard it clearly, a soft murmur, as if someone was speaking just below my door. I froze. The house was empty. I was alone. Or so I thought. That was when I decided to investigate. I ventured down to the old library the next evening, where the noises seemed to originate. The floorboards creaked underfoot, and as I stepped closer to the corner of the room, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. Beneath the old rug that had been lying forgotten on the floor was a small, rusted trapdoor. It was barely visible, hidden under the layers of dust, grime, and time. My heart raced as I knelt to lift it. The latch was stiff, but after a few tugs, it gave way with a sharp, metallic groan. The door opened to reveal a narrow staircase that descended into pitch-black darkness. The air that came up from below was cold and stale, like something had been sealed away for far too long. I hesitated, but the whispers, those haunting murmurs, urged me on. Something down there was waiting for me. I grabbed a flashlight and made my way down the steps, the beam of light flickering as if reluctant to illuminate the shadows below. The temperature dropped, and I could feel the weight of something pressing against me. The further I went, the more oppressive the air became. I reached the bottom of the stairs and stepped into a small, dimly lit room. My flashlight revealed dust-covered furniture, cobwebs clinging to the corners, and a sense of neglect that nearly suffocated me. And then, I saw her. At the center of the room sat a woman, her body preserved as though time had forgotten her. She was sitting upright in a chair, her hands resting gently in her lap, and her eyes were wide open, staring blankly ahead. Her skin had a ghostly, pale hue, and her clothes, faded and tattered, seemed like they belonged to a different era. A shiver ran down my spine, and for a moment, I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The silence in the room was suffocating, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. It wasn't the appearance of the woman that terrified me, it was the sensation that she was watching me. Her blank eyes locked onto mine, unblinking, as if she were waiting for something or someone. I stepped forward, my heart pounding in my chest. My flashlight flickered again, casting strange shadows that seemed to dance around her. I noticed a small, leather-bound book resting on the floor near her feet, half buried under layers of dust. My hand shook as I picked it up, brushing the dirt from the cover. It was a journal, its pages yellowed with age. The writing inside was delicate and elegant, looping across the pages in a steady hand. As I began to read, a chill crept over me, tightening around my throat. The journal belonged to Eleanor Hargrove, the last known owner of the house. The entries started innocently enough, describing her life, her marriage to a man named Thomas, their grand house, and the quiet happiness she once knew. But soon, the tone shifted. Eleanor became obsessed with her husband, convinced he was seeing someone else. Her paranoia grew, and she began to hear whispers, faint voices that no one else could hear. Then came the horrific revelation. Eleanor discovered that Thomas had been planning to leave her. He had fallen in love with another woman. In a fit of rage, Eleanor confronted him, and the journal's tone grew darker. She described the moment she was struck down, dragged across the floor and into the chair where I now found her, unable to move, trapped in that same position for eternity. The last entry in the journal sent a cold spike of terror through my chest. It read, "I wait. I will wait for the one who dares disturb my resting place. And when they do, I will have my vengeance." I dropped the journal as the sound of a crash echoed from upstairs. My breath caught in my throat as the whispers grew louder, more urgent. Something was wrong. I turned to flee, but before I could reach the stairs, the trapdoor slammed shut above me, trapping me in the dark room with her. The air turned ice cold, and I heard a soft, dry whisper from behind me. "You shouldn't have come." I spun around, my heart in my throat. The woman, Eleanor, was standing now, her body contorted and unnatural. Her eyes locked onto mine, no longer vacant but filled with rage and something far worse. Her mouth opened in a silent scream, and her bony fingers reached for me. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. A cold hand brushed my shoulder, and the whispers flooded my mind, angry, vengeful voices, all echoing Eleanor's wrath. I stumbled back, tripping over the rotting floorboards, but I couldn't escape. Her figure loomed over me, her ghostly presence suffocating every inch of the room. And then, just as quickly as it had started, everything went black. The next day, the neighbor found my car still parked outside the house, but when the police arrived to investigate, they found no trace of me. The house was empty, silent, as if nothing had ever happened. The trapdoor was sealed tight, and the hidden room was once again untouched by time. But there was something strange. The journal had vanished, and a thick layer of dust coated the floor, as if no one had disturbed it in years. I never found out what happened to me that night, but sometimes, when I close my eyes, I feel the cold presence of Eleanor watching me, waiting. And I can still hear the whispers, just beneath the floorboards, calling me back. If you found yourself holding your breath, then you're not alone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deadscape Diaries for more terrifying stories that will keep you up at night. Hit that bell so you never miss a chilling tale, and remember, some things are best left undisturbed. Until next time, stay safe, and be careful what you uncover.